on the defensive side, making sure that the goalkeeper doesn't have an extremely busy night if possible. Defend with numbers, and then take your chances very well. Set pieces will be of a premium, to say the least.
And I want to make a correction here quick. The team in pink is Lipscomb here tonight. It is October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so love to see Lipscomb repping the pink jerseys here tonight. As that one's cleared back in by Hurt. Pinball with the heads of North Carolina and Lipscomb. But there's another guy for the Bisons right there. That's William Bryan trying to make a play on that. He did not start the season as a usual starter, kind of worked his way back into the starting lineup as Kara back there for the Bisons. And that's a story too, Jaleel. Noah Kump and Alex Kara have really traded and passed the baton between who has started. But as of last game, Noah Kump out with an injury for this one.
Yeah, has to bow out with a hand injury that he unfortunately suffered in the last match. And anytime you have a revolving door in between the sticks, that's not something that you want, but it is opportunity for players to rise up to the level.
As you see, number 13, Luca Nikolai for UNC. Pressure there by Bryan. And you gotta love when teams will get a advantage there, but you gotta love when teams implement pink. Not always, doesn't always have to be the pink jerseys, but an arm sleeve, a leg sleeve, anything like that, you gotta love to see that, especially in October.
Yeah, of course, Will. Talking about breast care awareness, it's always good for everybody to be cognizant of the potential struggles that people may be going through, whether it's aware to everybody or it's not. And of course, the pink is just it's extra swag too, you know? Give me a pink jersey, I'll sport it right now.
Bracken dumps it in, a shot, and that one is close, but it will be out for a goal kick. There was multiple people in the area, but that did look like Callum Frogson on that shot for the Tar Heels.
I think both teams really coming out of the locker rooms, if you will, understanding the intensity that needs to be had for this match. Anytime coaches are giving their pregame talk, they're going to be talking about the early stages of the match, and the intensity is right on both sides of the line.
And that's been kind of the driving force for Lipscomb this season. They have handled a lot of pressure on the defensive end and done very well with that, but it's been the lack of offensively that they have struggled with and ultimately led to a lot of defeats.
Yeah, and that's can be typical when you have a lot of turnover with the roster. This is a very young team. Both of them are young, but we're talking about the Bisons right now. It's a young team that has lost a lot of leadership, especially on that attacking side of the ball. When you look at historically how well they've been, it takes time to get it back.
Here's UNC on a chance, a cross in, a chance now, another one headed out. And that was Andrew Check there with a chance. Still with North Carolina. Now another cross in, got to clear it out, and Lipscomb does. One more chance, and Kara's got to dive for a save. Still a chance inside. That's Jones defensively, and Bryan. Players down in the box. Here's Nikolai with a shot, and it's in. Luca Nikolai. Lots of chances on that one, and UNC strikes first.
We were just talking about the intensity, Will, and both teams understanding. The Bisons, they were pinned down back in their 18-yard box, defending wave after wave. Did a very good job here, a little bit of a melee. You could see here on the right side of your screen, Nikolai just gets it out of his feet, slots it home. That is what an excellent finish looks like. The reason why that finish is so difficult to keep out is because the goalkeeper can't see it late. It goes between the legs, 1-0 in the fifth minute rather.
And I didn't see that in live time, but that shot went through the legs of Mason Cooper. And not enough time for Kara to react. So North Carolina strikes first, 1-0. here 5 minutes in.
And now, Will, it's always going to be about the response, especially if you suffer a deficit early on at home. What does the response look like? Where can you deliver a moment for the crowd to get off their feet because they haven't had the opportunity to do so? You have to give a lot of credit, though, to Chapel Hill. They very much understood the game plan under Carlos Samoano, and that has been to put a lot of pressure under the Bisons on the defensive end of the ball. Pick up the ball in the attacking third and make sure that you're able to generate wave after wave of attacking opportunities, and that's exactly what they were able to benefit from on the early goal.
Ball deflected out there. That was Patrick Walls. He's someone else that we have started to see more and more. He started a few games early in the year, but started to have an up in his minutes. Chance by UNC. Batted away. Still in possession of the Tar Heels. Trying to find Rygaard on that one, a little too far.
Yeah, the Tar Heels definitely showing their prowess early on in this match, but we all know very well that after the first 15 minutes of the game, things can definitely lull off. So if you're Lipscomb, you're down there on the pitch and the technical staff, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get through the next 10 minutes. So that way you can weather any other potential future storms coming and then get the game back into your favor. And the way that you do that is to play a little bit more direct. Of course, they want to play a free-flowing style that they've been used to over the last couple of years, Will, but sometimes you have to be a little bit more pragmatic, turn the UNC defense, and make them defend for once.
And that was Diego Ramirez that drew that foul. He, one of those 8 freshmen on this team for Lipscomb. We talk about it, 13 newcomers, 8 freshmen, and for the second year in a row, they've really had a freshman looking promising. It was Dan Karsten last year, ASUN Freshman of the Year, now at Marshall. But Diego Ramirez scored in the opening game against Memphis and really has tried to be that guy for Lipscomb this season.
And what you're always looking for are young stars to make a name for themselves. And that is what the exact opportunity there is for a lot of the players here in Nashville playing for Lipscomb. And ironically, the same and similar opportunities have arisen for Chapel Hill players as well. It's a group that has 13 freshmen, and they also have transfers coming in. So the group is essentially new, but they're starting to definitely gel. They're starting to understand exactly what the head coach, Carlos Samoano, wants out of the group, and is starting to show not only through their results, but how they're approaching game after game.
Yeah, and when you look at these two coaches, a 15th-year coach for North Carolina and a 21st-year head coach for Lipscomb and Charles Morrow, both of these coaches have gone through a lot of changes throughout their career as Lipscomb finally trying to get their first offensive look of the night. That's Ramirez, number 12 for Lipscomb.
And that's better from Lipscomb. They're able to progress up the field, get a little bit of cumbersome possession, in their attacking third. That's what you want, and that's what will allow your defenders to rest a little bit. And, Will, you're talking about the prowess of both managers. When you talk about Charles Morrow, you're talking about a man who essentially built this program from humble beginnings, if you will, and made it a perennial team that is in the conversation with some of the best organizations in college soccer. And what I love about him is that he's very even-keeled when they're doing excellent, whether it's one fixture or during a part of a game or throughout an entire season. He's very even-keeled, the same when they're going through adversity.
Close chance here for Lipscomb. And Andrew Cordes has to dive on that one. First time we've said his name here tonight. Cordes, a senior from Denver, Colorado. Previously played at University of Portland. And they just got to dump it back out to Kara. And Kara, the guy for Lipscomb they've leaned on Not entirely. You've seen Noah Kump in there for a few games, but the first 5 or 6 non-conference games, it was Alex Cara leading the charge.
Yeah, and again, when you have a revolving door in between the sticks, it's opportunity for who is going to rise up. Right now, Noah Kump is out as a forced change.
And UNC with a steal. Lipscomb recovers, but still on the side of the Tar Heels.
That's a good ball.
And Jones looking for Walls, but a nice clear out there. And danger avoided once again. Here's William Bryan. Now to Cooper. And a turnover there for Lipscomb. And that is something that Lipscomb has struggled with. They really have had lockdown defense in a lot of their games, but it's been the few offensive opportunities they get have turned into quick turnovers and leading to not very many offensive opportunities. That one a little far to the right, and a goal kick for Alex Cara. As they try and get it to Jones there. And we mentioned this early in the game, Jaleel, but Levi Jones, someone who has struggled to really find minutes last season and found himself getting 8 to 10 minutes at the ends of each half. But as we started to get conference play, and really after that Mercer game where we had the brace, we've seen a lot more of Levi Jones, and as of the past 2 games, he's been a starter.
Yeah, within this program, everybody has always understood his ability and his upside, and it was always just about maturity, whether it's physically and also just being comfortable on campus. And now that he's starting to grow in all of those areas and showing the coaching staff that he can not only be trusted on the pitch, but of course be able to be somebody that is relied upon. If you're able to score a brace and then you completely change the trajectory in terms of the way the coaching staff looks at you, and he still has a lot more to improve on, but the upside is tremendous.
And a nice chance here for Lipscomb. Here goes William Bryan. Mason Cooper trailing.
Good ball.
And a nice clear out there. And out of bounds. Throw in coming for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, that's a good progression up the left-hand side, for Charles Morrow's side. And what I like about the way that they have been able to manage the game after suffering an early goal is that they didn't freak out. They didn't put themselves in a situation where it looked like they were going to give up too early on, because that's when a rout can start, right? Well, now the game has really settled off. Like we talked about, as you approach that 15-minute mark, it typically becomes more of an even contest if you don't let the floodgates run, and that's exactly what Lipscomb's been able to do, and now they look the aggressor.
Yeah, and for Lipscomb, this is not particularly a familiar position. You've entered halftime in a lot of games tied at 0 or even down 1-0, but it's been the second half that has been the painkiller for Lipscomb. But to find themselves at a deficit just 5 minutes into the game, you got to like how they're settling in. They're not just folding over here early. And they understand we might be down, but there is a lot of time left in this match.
Yeah, a lot of football left to be played, and it's not going to be an easy task for Chapel Hill if Lipscomb keeps this up, and likewise.
Chance here now for the Tar Heels. It's Nikolai, crosses in, a great save by Cara. Still with UNC, and it's right over the net. But Cara showing why they haven't really chosen a starter.
Yeah, this is a very good save here. The finish could have been a lot better, but at the end of the day, you have to get down and get that left paw in a way where the parry also doesn't give a clean second bite at the apple. That's very well done. But you have to give Chapel Hill a lot of credit, though. The way that they're able to create space on the near right-hand side has been definitely a problem for Lipscomb.
And that was Gabriel Bracken on that shot just over the net. But now Lipscomb looking for some offense. And that went out of the reach of William Bryant. It rained a lot here today, but as of kickoff, it's been pretty dry. But, you know, you can still implement it. Field might still be a little soggy from earlier today. Do you think that affects the players in any way?
I think the rain that we got earlier today was just enough to keep the pitch slick, right? And this is one of the most immaculate surfaces that you could find in Nashville. And what you should expect is that the ball is going to continue to move fast, but it's not soggy in any way, shape, or form. It makes for perfect conditions to be able to zip the ball down on the pitch in a way that both managers want to see their side play.
Nice play there from Jones to prevent a clear. But about 16 minutes gone here in the first half. North Carolina leads 1-0 over the Bisons. Looking for a chance here. Here's Rygaard. Looking for a chance now, headed out by Baxter Hurt.
Yeah, Hurt does an excellent job there. That intervention is crucial.
Stands at 6'4". Him and Alex Cara, tallest on the team. Here's Nikolai trying to cross it in, headed out beautifully. Still with the Tar Heels. Here's Rygaard. Dumps it back out, Frogson. Looking for something here, back to Rygaard. Clears it in, and a close chance for the Tar Heels there.
Yeah, the interchange between Nikolai and Rygaard Hansen has been very problematic for Charles Morrow's side. And the reason why is because you don't necessarily know exactly when Nikolai is going to play as a pocket winger. Here they come again.
Chance now again. A shot, and that one's in. Luca Nikolai, second goal of the night here for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, Nikolai really showing his prowess, making sure that he pops up. We were just talking about how he has the ability to come inside and play like a pocket winger as well, where he can combine and pop up in spots where it's very difficult for the back line to step up. You can see here, bottom of your screen, pops up, top of the D, gets it out of his feet, just like he did in the first goal, but he elects to not go across the grain, but open his body and go straight through the strike. Excellent stuff. 2-0 to UNC with 26 minutes left to play in the first.
And you almost look back at that one, and maybe Alex Cara thought that he was going across the grain. Instead, fooled him, and it's a 2-0 game here in Nashville.
Yeah, just a lot of pace on the strike. But again, the way in which the UNC attack has been able to tactically set themselves up, it's been very difficult for the back four. of Lipscomb to be able to really allocate for exactly where Nikolai moves, because he comes inside, he floats out wide. Here he is here on the switch, where these interchanges in pockets of play where they're able to pick up the ball and maintain possession in the attacking third, but most importantly in the middle third, it creates a lot of problems.
Here's Nikolai again trying to dump it in, and Kara's right there for the easy save for the Bisons.
Yeah, well done there from Kara to be able to come off his line, not hesitate there, because if he's not aggressive coming in off his line there, you could probably see a situation where Chapel Hill could be one-on-one potentially for the third.
Clear up by Kara, right back on the side of the Tar Heels. Brian trying to clear it out, can't do so. Nice pressure there from Brian. And Cooper will just clear it back. And a bad pass and a chance for UNC. Looking for someone. Is that Nikolai again? And a nice sliding save. And that was Caleb Davis. We saw the same thing last game.
Yeah, this is an uncharacteristic giveaway here for the goalkeeper, and he's just looking to play through the lines. Again, sometimes you have to just skip lines and be a little bit more pragmatic here. And you can see Nacho Abiel, he's looking to join the party and get on the score sheet. But this is excellent stuff there from Davis to say, no, we are not going to just roll over. I'm going to make a last-ditch challenge to keep the scoreline where it is. Now you have to defend a corner kick, but as a former defender myself, I love plays like that.
And we saw that same thing as the first corner of the night for UNC. First header in there and headed out. But North Carolina doing a great job of continuing to keep that pressure on the Bisons. As Dylan Kropp has it for a second. Cleared out by Daniel Fierk. And here's Nikolai again. Now it's check in there. And Kara corrals it. But as I was mentioning earlier, Jaleel, last game, wide open net, and Daniel Stampatori for Lipscomb saves a goal, and that was a 0-0 draw, so that really could have been the difference in the game and the difference between 1 point and no points.
Yeah, and that performance against Queens was a lot more cohesive than recent outings for Charles Morrow's side. And what you're looking for when results are hard to come by are those opportunities to pick up points through confidence. A lot of times it's to be able to galvanize the group, being willing and ready to do the dirty work. And that's exactly what I love from that play that we previously saw there from Davis, just to really make a statement to say that, hey, look, we're going to continue to fight here, and that's what it's all about.
Jack Sandmeyer, Callum Frogson with the throw-in for North Carolina, cleared out by Hurt. And when you look at last game, it was two teams that really struggled to get a lot of shots off and shots on goal, but now you look at it and Lipscomb, no shots on goal here 23 minutes in as we have a player down.
Yeah, that looked like a unfortunate coming together there with both players moving at full speed. You just hope that he's okay, as the clock will stop and both managers will have the opportunity to regroup their squads. And when you have 22 minutes left to play in the first half and you're down 2-0, what Charles Morrow will be telling his team is to make sure that you stay with the game plan, make sure that you stay together as a unit. What can happen psychologically in footy when you're down but 2 goals early is sometimes you start to think, okay, I'm going to be the hero and try to solve problems all by myself. But the best thing about football is you're always better together. So if Lipscomb can stay together as a group defensively and the midfield, and of course when they progress into the attack, they'll still have a chance.
Yeah, and can't quite tell who that is yet, but when both players are moving as fast as they were, and seems to be moving his arms, but still unable to sit up yet. It's just a scary thing to see for any team. As he is finally up. That's number 7, Nacho Abial.
And definitely not a sight that anybody wants to see, but especially if you're a UNC fan. Nacho Abiel has been excellent this season. You could see how distraught head coach Carlos Samuano was, putting his head in both of his hands, and it's just a very frustrating sight. You can see the pain that Abiel is dealing with. You just hope that he's okay. And anytime the trainers have to come on and do certain tests as they were doing, it's not a good sign, but we all hope that he's okay for obvious reasons.
And he was able to get over to the bench, but did need some help getting over there, as Luis Vera into the game for North Carolina. But if you're the Tar Heels, Jalil, you have to like what you see so far. It's 8 shots already, 5 of them on the goal. As that one a little too deep and Carr corrals it. But looking at them, do they really need to change anything moving for these last 22 minutes of the first half?
The only thing that I would say is if you're up 2-0 in the way that Chapel Hill has come out, I agree with you that they have been dominant. They deserve to be where they are in the match, but you would want to keep your intensity levels high, and sometimes you have to exaggerate that. That's what we're seeing down there on the pitch. Very good stuff. Here they come again.
Here's Nikolai looking for the hat trick, and that one was close. He has both goals here tonight for the Tar Heels, looking for his 3rd.
Yeah, Nikolai on a hat trick, looking to make it complete here. And Kara says, okay, I could see that one was going wide, but he switched up each time that he's found himself top of the box. First time he went against the grain, second time to score, opens up his hips, if you will, and then that time again he closed them. Ooh, that's a good tackle.
Shutting down the chance for the Bisons. And I like what you said for this team. You don't want the intensity to drop. You are ahead 2-0, but oftentimes with a big lead, you start to kind of phone things in, and that's what you don't want to see. Chance now and a nice save there. Cooper trying to clear it out. Does for the moment, but right back with North Carolina. Looking for numbers here. Here's Rygaard trying to clear it in. Commotion in the box, but finally cleared out. Here comes Levi Jones, taken away from him.
Yet another excellent tackle there from Frogson. Just to be able to nullify any attack that the Bisons are trying to jumpstart on their left-hand side. That's very well done from the right back, and it allows UNC to continue attacking wave after wave. And again, at practice on just yesterday, what UNC was working on was the ability to rely on their press, make sure that everybody travels to the ball with intensity. And that's not an easy thing to do, because you have to understand a lot of times when the attacking players are having to press, they've just run over and over to try to score goals. So they're doing a very good job to make sure that they're putting practice into the game.
And that stand right there, kind of one of the only good ones here tonight for Lipscomb so far, making UNC kind of retreat back a little further than usual. But here is Harkson on the break, looking for a goal. Kara says, no, sir. Bertil Rygaard broke away from a second, but a nice save there by Kara.
Yeah, nifty feet there to be able to wiggle free 1v1. I like that sauce there. The reason why Kara's able to make that save is because his positioning is good. He's not too married to that front post, so it doesn't slip into the back post, but then he's also able to get anything if the attacker tries to catch him sleeping. Very well done from the goalkeeper.
And Kara has shown great signs as almost another chance there cleared away. And the stat line doesn't do him justice. He has been a vital part for this Lipscomb team. Here's Mason Cooper. He takes a tumble. Possession stays with Lipscomb.
Yeah, that's well done there from Cooper to be able to use his body to shield the ball and then win a very important free kick.
Entering the match, number 25, Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez has about 17 minutes and some change here to come and try to jumpstart things on this left-hand side. And that's where Lipscomb has tilted in their attack. They've tilted left. Frogson has done a very good job for UNC to try to nullify anything, but can the substitute come in and try to really offset the right side of Carlos Samuano's defense?
Robert Rodriguez, the sophomore from Laverne, Tennessee. One of those 13 newcomers for this Charles Morrow squad, as here he is right now.
Very well done.
Played in, looking for Jones. Onside play. Chance here for Lipscomb. Davis, now to Rodriguez. Trying to use that speed, and there he is again, Jaleel Frogson, with another great slide tackle.
Yeah, he's been excellent. And if you wear the 2-3 out of UNC, you got to make sure that you're absolutely balling. He understands that concept. But what I like, though, is when you go to the bench, you expect your substitutes to be able to change the game quite immediately. Easier said than done, but Rodriguez understands that. He's bringing the energy. He's making plays. That's one thing that UNC has done better than Lipscomb. Is yes, they've won the battle of possession, and yes, they're up 2-0, but it's about making plays at the end of the day. And Lipscomb has the ability to get on the ball, pass, but then when they get into the middle third, they haven't really been able to be as inventive, as creative, as brave. Can they turn that up a notch and get themselves back in the game? Because, like I said, they have the ability to do so.
Yeah, and you talk about the importance of those subs, as we'll get back to that in a minute. A chance now for UNC. Here's Nikolai driving in and over the net. His second chance of the night at the hat trick.
Still stuck on a hat trick. He could be going for 4 here, but what I like is that he pops up at the right spots in and around the top of the box. That as soon as he is receiving the ball, his first touch puts him at an advantageous position as far as what the defense is trying to do. When they're stepping to him, he's going to the right. When they are trying to cut off his angle to the left-hand side, he goes down the middle. He has an uncanny ability to offset the defense collectively and individually, and he's showing that, and that's the reason why he has 2 goals on tonight already.
"14 and a half minutes to go here in this first half." There's Rodriguez.
Early ball's on.
Gets past one. Looking for numbers. He'll take a shot off of a UNC defender and into the hands of Andrew Cortez.
This is very good stuff here from Rodriguez. Just understands the ability to cut back and then look for a shooting opportunity. That's the best opportunity that the Bisons have had all night, and it comes from the substitute. Again, whenever you're able to come into the game and change the trajectory right away, easier said than done, but when you can do that, it brings a lot of confidence to all your players and your coaching staff as well.
Here is Rygaard.
Oh.
Chance now, hits the crossbar and cleared out. Great chance for UNC, denied. And here's Levi Jones working against Frogson. Falls down, no call. And back in the hands of Alex Cara. And as you mentioned, Jaleel, the importance of the substitute coming in and making an impact. That's how Levi Jones got into the starting lineup. He came in as a sub in the final 10-15 minutes against Mercer and ended with that brace, really submitting himself into the starting lineup for the Bisons.
Great touch there from Ramirez to be able to wiggle free and draw a free kick, but absolutely right. Absolutely right, Will. Just because you start the game on the bench doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't one of the most effective players or you don't have the opportunity to do so. Whether you get scrap minutes or you come in around, with 17 minutes left in the first half. Still so much that Rodriguez can do on the left-hand side to be able to affect the game as the left back, while both teams now have gone into the bench for the first time.
Correction, not number 9, it's number 11, Ryan Dugan.
And you see number 11, Ryan Dugan, coming in for the Tar Heels, as well as a couple of other substitutes. But final 12 minutes here in the first half. And you go back to that shot by Rodriguez. With a team who struggles to get shots, averaging right around 8 shots a game, you really want to take anything that's close, anything remotely close, you want to take advantage of. As Jones using his speed to put some pressure on Cortez.
And throughout the course of the season for Charles Morrow's side, we'll get back to that in a little bit as UNC, here they come again.
It's Rygaard taken away.
Ooh.
Another nice move taken away from him. Cross denied. Here's Ramirez. Trying to clear it out. William Bryan, nifty moves, now back to Stampatori.
And this is better here from Lipscomb. They're building possession out of their back end, but they look poised in doing it. I guess that's commentator's curse. Well, maybe not so much there, where they're able to keep UNC back on their heels, no pun intended, and allow themselves to rest on the ball. And what we were talking about earlier is, yes, they have struggled to produce a lot of goal-scoring opportunities, but one thing that's an ethos of the way that they play, they're going to keep the ball on the pitch. They're going to look to move up the field. It's how effective are they in the attacking third?
Chance here for Lipscomb. Cleared into the box and cleared right back out. But if you're Lipscomb, you really want to take these, as we get to single digits now, just under 10 minutes. You want to take these final 10 minutes and hopefully bring something with you into halftime.
Absolutely. If you can nick one, you're in a very good spot psychologically.
Jones down to Ramirez. Ramirez looking back for Jones, clears it in and just wide of the box. The closest chance by far here tonight off the foot of Levi Jones.
Yeah, this is very good stuff, and this is exactly why he's in the starting lineup. To be able to wiggle free there, that is through his movement. He's not looking to try to go to goal there. He's looking to just slide it across the face for a tap in on the back. What I like about that attack is that it shows that the attacking players here, Levi Jones is the one who benefits from a very good through ball. They're on the same page, or at least growing closer and closer to it. That cohesion in the attacking third is typically what comes last when you're rebuilding a team, if you will. So for me, I'm not so worried that Lipscomb has struggled this season to be able to score goal after goal. That takes time, but it's about how well can you keep the ball on the ground, still play your style while keep staying in games.
And you saw on your screen a couple of seconds ago, Josiah Green, a usual starter for this team, getting into the game here tonight. And after the first game against Memphis, we really thought that Josiah Green was going to be the identity that Lipscomb was looking for. As a steal here for the Bisons. Trying to get something going. Crossed into the box. Cleared out now. Here's Nikolai, takes a tumble, and whistle blown and a yellow card.
In the end, that's a smart yellow card for Walsh to take. Nikolai has created pretty much every single problem for Charles Morrow's side here, but whenever a player of his ability is potentially going to wiggle through and continue on in a transitional moment, it makes sense to drag him down, make sure that you stop the play dead in its tracks, allow the defense to reset and regroup, because you definitely don't want to be in a situation with 7 minutes and some change on the clock where you're down 3-0. If you can get into the locker room 2-0 or 2-1, if you nick one back, again, you're in a decent spot to be able to recover in the second half.
And with a player in Nikolai with 2 goals already, if he breaks away, he for sure has the confidence to etch a 3rd goal into a stat sheet here tonight. So as you mentioned, a smart yellow card by Walls, but a yellow card indeed. As we approach the final 7 minutes here in the first half. Jaleel Anibaba alongside me. I am Will Blackman here at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex, where the Tar Heels hold a 2-0 lead over the Bisons. Played back to Cortez. Was looking for Nikolai, but over his head. Now Rodriguez clears back to Cara. You look at Robert Rodriguez now with the ball here. You gotta love the minutes he's been putting in. Came in around the 17-minute mark, but has really kind of brought this team up with him. We've seen a lot more energy from Lipscomb ever since he entered the game.
Absolutely. Threw in a couple of nutmeg or so and then was able to charge up the left-hand side, put in some decent service as well. And again, when you're playing at home, Will, you want moments where the fans can help the team push them closer and closer toward what they are trying to accomplish. After he comes into the game and pulls off a couple of plays, you start to hear chants in the crowd, and that's exactly what you want as far as a boost is concerned. That's definitely going to be a silver lining in the first half for Charles Morrow as they analyze this, but they still got 5 minutes and some change here to try to keep the scoreline at least where it is as far as UNC is concerned, and then get themselves in a situation where, again, maybe they can nick one.
That was Luke Hanlon, a little too far offsides. Didn't start this game, but has seen starting minutes throughout the season. There's a nice chance brewing, cleared in. And that would have been 3 points on a Sunday, but none here tonight. Over 4 minutes to go here in the Music City in the first half. You look at Kara, 2 goals allowed here tonight, but 3 saves, and 3 very good ones to that matter. Nice takeaway here. Here comes Lipscomb. Taken right back. Looking for Frogson. Now Patrick Walls. Here come the Tar Heels pushing. Nice play there from Furyk to get it out of harm's way.
Ooh.
Nice play there. And can't see, I believe that's Daniel Furyk on the far side. 2 players down for the Tar Heels. Now 1. But you see Furyk there clapping his hands, trying to lift up his team. As the clock still runs, under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Both teams looking content for the score to stay the same heading into halftime. But still another chance for North Carolina. It's played in, still in the box. Almost got a chance. No foul is called. Taken right back by Frogson.
1 minute remaining in the half.
Final minute of the first 45. As we had a close play in the box, a lot of commotion going on there. As Frogson looks to throw it in. Cleared out by Cooper.
Ten, 9, 8, 7.
Final 10 seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2.
And we will head into halftime. The Tar Heels of North Carolina up 2-0 over Lipscomb. Storyline has really been from that 17 minutes left and on. Rodriguez into the game, making an impact. And we are underway in the second half here in Nashville. And as expected, we do see Rodriguez making the start in the second half. But UNC putting the pressure on early. Putting pressure on again. And that will be a corner kick for the Tar Heels.
Tar Heels corner kick.
Yeah, UNC picking up exactly where they left off in the first half. Really pushing the issue, relying on their press to generate goal-scoring opportunities, and this comes through a set piece here. And what Lipscomb is going to need to do is make sure that their marking is good, defend very well on set pieces, and make sure that they don't suffer an early goal like they did in the first half.
Ryan Dugan puts it in, a cross in, headed out by Furyk. Another chance here, and it's blocked. Hurt will clear it out, and an offensive chance for Lipscomb. Trying to clear it back in, that's Will Kennedy. Still has it top of the box. And a nice clear out by the Tar Heels. Here they come the other way. Dugan. Now Sandmeyer. Looking for numbers now. Mate driving.
Ooh.
Takes a fall, and was that in the box?
Looked to be right outside of it, but Mate making an excellent run forward here. Hope that he's okay physically, but this is the Vancouver Academy product who is very highly touted, playing under Carlos Amoano. One of the things that the coaching staff consistently says about Mate is his ability to play a multitude of positions. He's very smooth coming forward. We didn't say his name very much in the first half because, quite frankly, we didn't need to. He was on the ball. He wasn't on the ball all that much and playing a little bit more coy first half. But that run there shows exactly why he's one of the more highly touted players coming out of the Vancouver Whitecaps setup.
Yeah, and we look at that replay, and that couldn't get much closer without being a penalty kick. But now here is Nacho Abial. Here's Nikolai off the crossbar. And headed out. My goodness, Jaleel. You think he wants his third goal or not?
I told you that the team is going to try to hook Nikolai up to be able to get his hat trick there. You can see Nacho Abial, who is wearing that sleeve on his left leg there. It's very good that he's back in the game because he suffered an injury scare here. But Nikolai is just looking to get again on that score. He just can't seem to get that third for his hat trick, but a standout performance to say the absolute least, and there's still so much to play.
And if you're Lipscomb, very close to a third goal, but you're still in striking distance. You get a goal to your name, and you're very much in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's still everything to play for. One, because there's so much time left, 42 minutes, if you will. And, of course, with the scoreline being 2-0, you can score 2 goals in essentially 2 minutes, if not even less than that. So the game is still out there to be had. Chapel Hill's UNC has done a very good job to make sure that they come out of the locker room with a lot of venom and energy, but here comes Lipscomb.
Will Kennedy looking for William Bryan, unable to find him, and one of those offensive opportunities quickly taken away for Lipscomb. UNC looking to pick up where they left off after they almost scored their third goal at their last possession. Here's Abial. Still with it. Good ball movement here by the Tar Heels.
Trouble.
Nikolai had a chance at it. Abial with it in the box. Here's Mate. He had a close chance here earlier. Taking it himself, cleared into the box and cleared away nicely. Looking like Caleb Davis, but we'll get a closer look here.
This is very good stuff again from Mate. He's able to wiggle free and then just looking to become aggressor to facilitator. But that's good defense there for Lipscomb. Sometimes you have to slide over. You have to put in last-ditch challenges, and that is excellent stuff to keep the scoreline where it is. But again, you're going to now have to rely on your defensive set-piece prowess.
Abial will put it in. A little too far.
Oh.
And a nice challenge there. Here comes Lipscomb. It's Josiah Green. He's been very good in the open field. Trying to spark something here for the Bisons. Stampatori now. Trying to clear it in. Lipscomb wants a handball. Referee says play on. Good composure here by UNC to get it out of danger. As bad ball played in. Forces Lipscomb to draw it back to Kara. Trying to play it into Green, and an offsides call.
And Green is just trying to get his team to play him just a little bit earlier before he runs offside. Just the timing of the ball is what he wants to be a little bit better because he sees opportunities to be able to get in behind that back line. And again, what we talked about earlier in the game, Will, is sometimes you have to play a little bit more of a pragmatic style just to open the game up a little bit so that your possession-based football is a little bit more realistic. And I think that's probably something that Charles Morrow and his technical staff spoke to the team about because you can see out of the locker room Lipscomb is being a little bit more pragmatic and direct, which you would hope will open up the game later on when they can get it down on the pitch.
Here's Mate. Now to the far side, a nice challenge there to steal the possession back for Lipscomb.
Yeah, that's very well done again from Rodriguez, putting in a good solid challenge there, and that's a statement challenge just to say that if you're going to come up the left-hand side, it's not going to be easy for you. It's a good ball in the pocket.
Here's Hanlon now, trying to get something going. Plays that ball nicely. Can Green save it? No, he cannot. But you got to love the idea there from Hanlon trying to get Josiah Green in the open space.
Yeah, absolutely. And Green is doing a very good job to try to tiptoe that line again, to buy as much time as he possibly can for his facilitators to realize that, okay, now is the time to play the ball when you're on the other side of those types of plays. The Tar Heels are going to have to be very cognizant of his running. They fall asleep, bang, he can get in. Now it's 1v1 the goalkeeper. That's a position that you don't want to be in. Very well done here from Lipscomb as they're growing more and more into the second half.
And Green, he's had multiple nice chances, had 2 nice chances against Memphis, and then a couple of weeks ago for the Battle of the Boulevard, had one that hit the side of the net, but still looking for his first collegiate goal as a man down for Lipscomb. Josiah Green, a sophomore from Toronto, Ontario. Had a good freshman campaign. In and out of the starting lineup, but now a player down for UNC.
Yeah, you can just see here as the slow-mo hits, the collision between the two is a dangerous one just because of the force. The goal scorer, Nikolai, pulls up, and he's grabbing his hip, and it looks like it's Rodriguez there who's down on the turf for Lipscomb as collateral damage from that challenge there. And again, anytime that there is a potential injury scare, the managers will have the opportunity to galvanize the group, make sure everybody's okay. It's good that Nikolai is up on his own 2 feet, because if you're a UNC fan, you definitely don't want to see your goal scorer have to bow out of this game, because the way that he's playing, he's cooking with hot grease.
And you have to think that Nikolai's inching closer and closer to that 3rd goal. He has had 3 nice chances near the net, but none of those able to boost him to a hat trick. Both downed players from either side back up on their feet. Just under 36 minutes to go here in Nashville. And Lipscomb looking for some offensive spark. Turnover there. Here comes Nikolai. A nice play in. Played into the box, and a diving save by Kara. Abeal was making a push for that one, but not before Kara corrals it. And still heavy pressure from the Tar Heels.
It's Lipscomb doing a very good job to break down UNC's press. And what UNC is trying to do, they're trying to lock it to one side, jump, and make sure that they get to the ball very quickly or they can nick you. But the poise on the ball is something that has been pretty decent for Charles Morrow's side. And that's one of the vulnerabilities of the team this year, Will. They've struggled with teams that are high pressing and that press effectively. Sometimes they've been frantic on the ball, and that can be a symptom of a young team here. But what I like is that they stick with the ethos of how they want to play. They're continuing to try to play through the lines, but again, you need a little bit of a mix. As you don't break away from your identity, sometimes can you look to see where is that high line? Can you pick your head up and look to release your attacking players behind that back line? That's one thing that they've tried to do a little bit more in the second half. Can they do it more consistently and more effectively as this game grows on?
Yeah, and with Lipscomb looking at how they're handling the press as of recently, and they look fairly composed. They're not panicking. They're not playing like a team that sees a 2-0 deficit and falls down and rolls over. As you said, 2 goals can come very quickly, but with Lipscomb only 5 goals as a team on the year. As UNC looks to get some offense rolling once again.
Yeah, what the referee is going to tell Coach Morrow is to put on a different color, because what he's wearing, his whole setup there, makes it look like he could be a UNC player, and that's exactly what the UNC players were saying. Andrew Czech was saying, I honestly thought that the head coach of Lipscomb was one of my players, and he just tried to play him off the half turn around the corner.
Yeah, you look at that, and it looks like it was hit to no one, but you saw the outfit that Charles Morrow was wearing as a Tar Heel hits the ground. But he was wearing all white. As we get a yellow card on that last play, they're going to give it to Caleb Davis. Second yellow card tonight called on the Bisons.
Yeah, he joins Walton in the book, but I like what I've seen from Davis throughout his performance. He's been tenacious in the back line. He showed character. He makes the block, the save, if you will, to keep the score line 2-0 in the first half. And those types of plays can definitely pay dividends for you. He goes into the challenge a little bit overzealously, but again, whenever you're a player of high competitive spirit, those things are bound to happen.
Play in there, trying to save it back in. Still in the box. Cleared out for the moment. Here's Dylan Kropp. And that will be hit out for a Lipscomb throw-in. But you look at how high up UNC is playing.
It's a good switch of play.
Across the pitch, now William Bryant. There's Robert Rodriguez. Looking for numbers, here's Furyk. Now over to Hanlon. Top of the box, trying to clear it in and head it out by UNC.
And again, you can see the concept of the big 15 minutes really showing itself again in this match. What Lipscomb has done a better job of in the beginning of the second half than they did in the beginning of the game itself was to make sure that they weathered the storm. Chapel Hill came out again and made sure that, like, okay, we're going to make sure that we are the ones pushing the issue. They did that, but Lipscomb was able to weather the storm, and now that the game has lulled off after 15 minutes, the game is a little bit more even. They're now looking to get into the bench. Charles Morrow has told Levi Jones to get himself ready to go back into the game. And as Stampatori's looking to continue on in possession, they look a lot more poised to be able to pull one back here. And from a neutral standpoint, this is exactly what you want. You want the game to be as level as possible. And of course, for the home Music City fans, they want Lipscomb to be able to get themselves back into a better position in this game.
Goals do not come often this season for this Lipscomb team, but anything can happen at any given night. And with how Lipscomb has kind of settled in offensively, showing signs that a goal could be in their future.
And it's kind of been the theme of the season, is that progressing from the defensive third into the middle third hasn't been a problem. It's who is going to really be the one that can hit the back of the net. I don't think that they will struggle to find possession when they need. They may have a half chance or two. They may even have a few clear-cut chances, but it's who is going to bury it for the home side.
As you mentioned earlier, Levi Jones getting ready to come back in. He has re-entered for the Bisons. As Riley Berge in the game for the Tar Heels.
Oh.
And Kara having to come out of his box for that one. Possession still with the Tar Heels. Daniel Fierick playing composed. Still with UNC. Here's Frogson. Taken away on the far side and taken right back by the Tar Heels. And a man on the ground. Referee says play on. And we will get a stoppage of time here as Will Kennedy is in agonizing pain on the pitch here. Will Kennedy, freshman from Melbourne, Australia. Has seen kind of an up and down slope in his minutes, but playing some good minutes here tonight, specifically in the second half. As we have our hydration break, is looking like we were in the midst of that.
We will be relocating
from the bluegrass of Kentucky.
But seeming like we will be back underway here in a couple moments. William Bryan takes a tumble on the far side. And Lipscomb will retain possession. Under 30 minutes to go in this match between the Lipscomb Bisons and the visiting North Carolina Tar Heels. As UNC continuing to put on that pressure. Played back to Kara again. Still see that press from UNC. And I think the reason for the press, Jalil, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're really trying to force Lipscomb to beat them long, which has been a struggle for this Lipscomb team this season.
Correct, and it's also a facet of how the game against Louisville played out.
And a chance here again. Abial. We've called his names multiple times here tonight.
Yeah, and Stampatori, the captain, does a good job just to do a little bit to put the Spaniard in Abial off a little bit, where he is unable to really focus completely on the ball, and he has to really account for where, again, the captain was coming in off his left-hand shoulder. So decent team defending in the end to make sure that the scoreline stays where it is. But we're talking about the press of Chapel Hill. Here it is, again, on display, where the reason why they've really doubled down on their press is because the way in which it played out, or I guess didn't, you could say, against Louisville was something that Coach Solano wanted to make sure that they got right this time. They didn't feel like they were getting to the ball enough. Louisville was able to pass a little bit too freely to their liking, and they want to be able to make sure that they get better in that regard. And to me, box checked because their presses looked good tonight.
And UNC has done a great job of shutting down Green, really preventing any one-on-one chances. Hasn't seen a lot of minutes here tonight, but we have seen him since the latter half of the first half. As here come the Tar Heels. Gabriel Bracken now to Nikolai. Rygaard working, cleared away by Stampatori.
Yeah, Stampatori growing in the second half here. Just showing his leadership by putting in some crucial tackles, making sure that he's standing up and being counted a little bit more in the second half than he was in the first half. I like it.
And as a captain on this team, that's kind of expected. And I know you weren't here on Sunday, but he is the reason that game ended in a tie, a wide open net. Put his body on the line and cleared it out. And that's what you want from a captain. You can't expect everything, but when you have a wide open net and someone's willing to slide in there and basically save the game, that's what you want from a captain.
Absolutely, and in the first half tonight, Davis took a page out of Stampatori's book as well. And like we've been talking about throughout the course of this second half, that intervention could pay dividends for Lipscomb Bison.
Here's Levi Jones. Lipscomb trying to open up the pitch once again. Here's Rodriguez. Stampatori, he will unload, and that's far to the left. When you first look at that, thought he was going to cross it in, but decided to take the shot. But you really can't be mad at anyone taking a shot with how little they have come, the opportunities have come here tonight.
Yeah, I think to your point that you made earlier in the first half is that when it's been a struggle to hit the back of the net, sometimes you're not necessarily willing to settle for, okay, we need to get as close as we can to the goal. Anytime you get into that attacking third with the chance to shoot on goal, it's a decent opportunity. And I'm not mad at Stampatori just looking to put his foot through one. And what that does as well is the defense will now, they'll step forward a little bit more when Lipscomb gets into that attacking third because they know that they're willing to unleash one from deep.
Just over 22 minutes remaining in Nashville. Nikolai got a foot on that one, but stays with Lipscomb, and you can't have plays like that. Almost looked like Davis wasn't ready for the throw-in.
North Carolina substitution, number 21, Parker O'Farrell.
As we'll get another sub in here for the Tar Heels.
You know, Farrell comes into the game spelling Natrabiel, who took a knock in that first half. He's been crucial for UNC this season, and to have to spell him to play limited minutes in the second half is obviously not where the coaching staff wants to be, but at the end of the day, when you can bring in a substitute, can they affect the game positively and early enough? Yes, UNC is in a good spot, but if you get that third, you would like to think that you're very comfortable and you're on your way taking all 3 points, you know, across state lines. But where the scoreline sits right now, I can guarantee you everybody is tense because there's still so much to play for with 20 minutes and change left, but also, too, a scoreline of 2-0 is never where you're comfortable.
Here's Mate. Looking for Nikolai, and a nice clear away for the Bisons. If you're just joining us, it was 2 first-half goals for the Tar Heels, as Josiah Green trying to break away once again and unable to do so. But really, this turning point has a chance here for the Tar Heels. Break away now, and that's going to go out of play for a corner kick.
What I like about Lipscomb's defense is that they don't give up on plays, Will. Whether UNC is able to actually get in behind them on the initial pass or through ball, they don't give up, and that is a facet of a team that you can build around. Those types of intangible characteristics are the things that all managers are looking for. They're details, of course, and aspects of the game that they need to tighten up on and improve. But when you sit back and you're able to analyze the season up to this point in time, you're always looking for what are the silver linings. And for me, that's one of them for Charles Morrow.
Fourth corner of the game. Tried to send it in. It's still in the box and will go out of play for a goal kick. But I really think the point in the game where Lipscomb was able to keep this deficit where it is the 17-minute mark in the first half when Robert Rodriguez was subbed into the game. He's really brought his team up with him. Haven't been able to score goals with him in the game, but I feel like the intensity, defensive, and even spurts on the offensive end, both of those have been brought up a little bit since he's entered. Here's Nikolai making some moves in the box.
Back heel. Oh.
And now taken away by Rodriguez. Given right back to the Tar Heels. They're in the 18-yard box, cleared in and cleared out. And that will be another Tar Heel corner kick. And one of the strong suits, Jaleel, for this Lipscomb team, their bottom half in a lot of statistics in the A-Sun, but they are third, or top 3, I should say, in corner kicks, but that is something that UNC has prevented very well here tonight. Ball cleared in, and Jones will send it out. Mate headed in the hands of Kara. And a nice defensive stand for Lipscomb.
Yeah, that's an excellent ball there in from Mate with his weaker right foot, and there's nothing weak about that service. Ooh.
Bad pass stolen away. Another chance for UNC. Here's Nikolai looking for that third goal, taken away now. Here's William Bryan looking for numbers. Still taking it himself. And Jones unable to keep it in.
Just a lack of recognition there. There was the opportunity to spring Levi Jones in on the near right-hand side. And when you allow a defense of UNC's ability to get their numbers behind the ball in a transitional moment, the opportunity will be killed for you. If you can go fast and get the ball in behind them before they get set, that's where you want to be.
Here's Nikolai looking for that third goal still, and right in the hands of Kara. William Bryan. Now Daniel Furyk. "16 minutes to go here in the Music City. Lipscomb trails UNC 2-0. Long pass kept in by Stampatori. Now it's Will Kennedy. Good defensive stand by the Tar Heels, and here they come the other way.
Ooh.
Nikolai looking for a pass, and he will collide with Rodriguez.
Yeah, Nikolai just really forced into a play towards his left-hand side. It looked like he wanted to pirouette and offset Rodriguez. Rodriguez just clattered into him. I'm actually surprised that Rodriguez doesn't go into the book, to be fair.
Yeah, plays like that can be a judgment call. Could have gone either way. But no card assessed. And Nikolai has it for the Tar Heels. The aggressiveness of UNC has kind of calmed down for the most part. They had dominated time of possession for the first 25 minutes of that first half. But Lipscomb able to keep calm, stay poised, and have evened out the time of possession. Here's a chance now. Takes a tumble, Lipscomb looking to clear. UNC settling in nicely. Cross put in. Taking away, trying to clear it. They cannot, and that will be yet another corner for North Carolina. So we take a look at the stats here. 6th corner of the night for UNC. Lipscomb still unable to get there first. Cross put in, and a near goal. Couldn't quite see who that was. There was a lot of people near the net. But a nice chance.
Looked like
missed.
Frogson. Looked like Frogson that was trying to find himself on the score sheet. And you can see him there just peeling off and darting into that goal-scoring area there. He's been excellent on that right-hand side of the defense for Carlos Samoano, and he's trying to join the attack. For me, he's a player that definitely need to be aware of as the season continues to progress, because he's definitely not scared of a challenge. He's also has that ability on the ball as well and that goal-scoring instinct. Very good player coming out of Nottingham, England.
Couple of subs in the game for the Bisons. Diego Ramirez returns. Rafael Constant and Luis Toledo making their first appearance here tonight for the Bisons. .11.5 to play. Offenses have been kind of stagnant as of recently. A couple of UNC chances early in the second half, but not much else. Jones trying to keep it in, unable to, and a goal kick for Andrew Cortez.
And at least Jones really showing that initiative to take on one of the better defenders in the country. And Manny Mate just on and trying to get down to the end line, get in across. I like that initiative from a young player. And that's why, you know, he's getting more and more trust from the coaching staff, because when you look at an attack that needs players that say, okay, look, it's going to be me. I'm going to try stuff. I'm going to push the envelope, dare to be great. And you know, of course, it doesn't end up coming off, but that's the type of attacking mentality that you want.
Chance here for Lipscomb, looking for Jones. In the box with it. Finds Stampatori. Bad pass taken away. Here come the Tar Heels. And Furyk. Gotta think there's a card coming, and yes, there is.
I just like the ability there from Bracken Serra to just evade the defender, hold the ball, draw the foul, and of course in an open field, potential transitional moment, it's going to be a yellow card all day, every day. But the Berkeley, California native, who's a transfer from the University of San Francisco, does a very good job here. You can see he puts himself in between the ball and the defender. Little tug on the shirt, goes down. And when you sit down and you talk to him, you're talking to a very mature individual. You're also talking to somebody who is very happy that he's playing for UNC.
Third card of the night for Lipscomb. As that ball will stay with the Tar Heels. But Patrick Walls, Caleb Davis, and now Daniel Furyk etching their names. Here's Mate at the top of the box.
Ooh.
Could have been a dangerous chance there for the Tar Heels. Here's Manny Mate. Referee having to dodge out of the way for that one. And Ramirez will go down. Saw the tug of the jersey, but no card assessed. And you look across at Charles Morrow, not happy with no card there. You take a look at O'Farrell, who was on that slide that bumped it out of bounds. The size on him, and he's given the Tar Heels a couple of nice minutes here in the second half. As we enter the final 7 minutes of this match. Score has been the same for over 60 minutes to this point. As they play it back to Kara. And nice ball movement here from the Bisons, getting it out of trouble.
Ooh.
Rodriguez plays on to Stampatori. Plays it back to Hurt. Hurt trying to cross the pitch, unable to do so. But if you're Lipscomb, Jaleel, moving forward, after you found yourselves down 2-0, didn't really flinch for the most part. Weren't able to get a lot of offensive momentum going, but you've kept this game at 2-0 for the most part. So what can you take this from Lipscomb? What can they take moving forward?
Yeah, it's the character piece. Again, anytime you're able to analyze it, you're going to be looking at the character of your group.
And a chance here once again. Plays it in. And is that one in? It is, but do we have an offsides?
North Carolina, goal by number 19.
It's like the goal is good and it stands. Rhaegar Hansen is able to find himself on the score sheet. He was an aggressor with Nikolai in the first half. We were calling his name a lot, floating off of the touchline, whether they're interchanging, creating a lot of problems. This one here is through the press. This is something that Carlos Samoano and the coaching staff will be very happy about, to be able to score a goal directly off of the press. He understands it. Sometimes you don't need the entire team to press with you. You can do it individually when the build out or the ability to look to try to clear is facing one's own goal. And then that cool, calm, and collected finish is one that you get from a player that has the ability and the poised nature to be in front of goal. 3-0 to the away side with less than 5 minutes to play here, Will.
Yeah, and Rhaegar Hansen, he was kind of playing the Robin to Nikolai's Batman there in the first half, but finally getting one for himself. And what could very likely be the last goal here tonight. Final 5 minutes here in Nashville. Lipscomb looking for something positive to take into the next match. Here's Toledo. As we get a stoppage of play here for a substitution.
Dan Klink is in the match.
Dan Klink will enter for UNC. As that one is played deep, cleared out by the Bisons. A near takeaway for UNC. An advantage given to them. Approaching the 3.5-minute mark. That ball is played in. And Kara having to go up and grab that one. Has a hard challenge there, looked like Ramirez.
Bison substitution in the match. Number 16, Zach Kennedy.
Another sub for the Bisons as we see Zach Kennedy getting his first minutes of the night. That one out of play for a Lipscomb throw-in. Taking a look at Lipscomb's upcoming schedule. After this one concludes tonight, 2 conference road games at Central Arkansas. And then a foe who they just saw here on Sunday at Queens next Saturday. Here Levi Jones plays it into Kennedy. Had a nice shot at it. Jones still with it in the box. And Jones will fall over. No call. And Jones still on the ground for the moment, up on his feet now. But after Lipscomb's quick road trip, they will return home to play a team very familiar to UNC as Louisville makes the trip to Nashville. Tar Heels looking to waste as much time as they can throwing this ball in, as we are in the final minute here in Nashville. Kara clears it away. Nice challenge there. Here's Luis Toledo. Final 10 seconds here in Nashville.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Toledo clears it to Kennedy. And that will do it.
Your final score is Tarheels 3, Bisons 0. The Bisons will be back at the
North Carolina comes into Nashville and claims a 3-0 victory.